And lobs, everybody knows that lobs gives you the most rep up opportunities out there. So it's easy to understand why 2K and 2K's logic, they say, well, they enjoy doing that, take it away. Hey, what's up YouTube? You already know it's AllCity Live TV, and thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about playmaking badges for dummies. All too often people are having trouble with playmaking badges and how to equip them, which way they should set up their badges, and what level they should equip these badges. So we're going to go through each badge and talk about what level you should equip it and whether or not the badges are still working to this day. There's a ton of new players out there that are developing new players as well. They're developing new builds, I should say, as well. So they want to know how to set up their badges, and that's what we're going to do for you guys here today. So let's get right into it. Alright guys, so this is the third part of a 4-part series in which we covered every single badge in the game to tell you guys whether or not these badges still work. Playmaking badges for dummies, and I don't mean that as an insult. All I mean is that you gotta approach your badge setup and these badges from a test dummy perspective, so there's gonna be a lot of trial and error for your particular player build. We're gonna get right into it. Now don't get discouraged by my badges. I know I have a ton of badges. I am a legend, but do not get discouraged because I have great hindsight. I remember how I played and what badges worked good for me prior to getting the additional 10 legend badge incentives. So we're gonna talk about the badges, each one. We're gonna go through each badge and tell you guys if these badges are still working. From my badge setup, you should see what I think actually still works, but I will give my opinion on those badges that are not selected here, like ankle breaker, for instance. Let's start out with ankle breaker. Ankle breaker is a badge, but you gotta have the right animations. So you gotta be activating the right animations, I should say. Normally this badge went through an up and down like thing with, it was like a roller coaster with the ankle breaker badge. Beginning of the year it didn't work. It started working out good with half spins and the explosive behind the back type of move. It was still working even when they took the explosive behind the back out. As long as you triggered the animation, you will still get the ankle breaker animations on the defender. But unfortunately, to this day, right now, I gotta say I've had this badge at a high level and I don't see how, it's just not effective enough. Maybe I'm triggering the wrong animations. You guys let me know, but I imagine what will work well for me in the past was the half spins and the explosive behind the back animation. Now currently it seems like 2K has kind of nerfed ankle breaker animations. Space Creator seems to give you way more ankles than ankle breaker does, and this was once a highly sought out badge by the entire 2K community, but unfortunately now it's not nearly as effective, so I don't have it equipped. But bailout, you should be equipping this badge. It should always be a part of your arsenal out there. Pretty much for any single build that you make on 2K, you should at least have the bailout badge on bronze. One of the greatest players, Ticino, uses this at Hall of Fame. I have it currently at Hall of Fame, and it really increases your options out there where people think you're gonna shoot. Let's say you're running the twos game out there and you got a center who wants to collapse to grab the board. When you go up for the shot, if he collapses to grab a board and you have a shooting center, you could just dot your shooting center for an easy 3-point shot when that defending center goes into the paint. One of the main reasons I like the bailout badge. Another great aspect about the bailout badge is that it helps you against double teams. So if you have two defenders with the trapper badge trying to get you in a trap, a double team, bailout actually maneuvers your player to throw the pass over. So that's another reason why I like the bailout badge. Something that you guys may want to consider. Break starter. I'm an R1, L1 type of outlet passer. I have run center a good amount of time on NBA 2K20, and break starter is not a badge that I ever really had to equip. I think you should more so focus on your passing attributes, and if you get your passing attributes up, then you just need to throw the outlet pass with R1, L1, and it'll work like maybe 98% of the time. I very rarely, 99% of the time, I have very rarely thrown outlet passes out of bounds, just it didn't reach the defender. So I never really needed the break starter badge. So That's really on y'all, trial and error. Like I said, you gotta approach these badges from a test dummy perspective. We're going on over to Dimer. Now, a lot of people have a lot to say about the Dimer badge, but for some reason, a lot of the great shooters that we run with, and if you're not familiar with our Discord, you might want to check that out, because the the consensus as far as the Dimer badge is concerned is that Dimer speeds up the shooter's shot. And for a lot of players, that may be a good thing. If you're a non-shooting build, or maybe like a shooting center, you might want an additional speed on your shot, some additional speed on your shot. But for those shooters out there, you're not gonna want anybody touching your timing. Your timing is the most important thing to you, because it became muscle memory. All the practice you put in, you said, well, this is what I'm used to. I don't want it any faster. I don't want it any slower. And although there's people like NBA 2K2, shout out to 2K2s, he makes great content. You guys might want to go check him out. He mentioned that Dimer does not speed up the shot. I could be mistaken, but this is what I heard, that NBA 2K2 said that Dimer does not speed up the shot. I'm just here to give you the information that I gathered for some great players and some great shooters. They say they don't like the point guard equipping the Dimer badge, and they prefer floor general, which we'll get to in a second. So that's for you guys to make that decision with the shooters that you run with. The downhill badge, you see I got that equipped at Hall of Fame, and this is more for rec or pro-am. If you're running rec or pro-am, you may want to consider the downhill badge, as it'll increase your speed with ball during your transition. So something that you guys may want to consider. If you want an increased speed to get to the rack during a transition, then you guys may want to consider equipping the Dream Shake badge. The Hakeem Olajuwon badge is for particular type of players. If you do play like Hakeem Olajuwon, you may want to consider Dream Shake. But unfortunately, in NBA 2K20, they're not rewarding post moves as much as they should. I think 2K20 should have given a greater respect to post moves and allow people a lot more freedom to activate, or like have a little bit more maneuverability to use badges like the Dream Shake badge. Unfortunately, 2K20 does not accommodate the Dream Shake badge. Flashy Passer, a great badge to equip. Although you guys see I don't have it equipped, is because I'm not too good at throwing flashy passes and they seem a bit random. And if your shooter does not have catch and shoot on, your shooter ends up in like a fumble type of animation when attempting to receive the flashy pass. But what I can say about Flashy Passer is that you get a tremendous amount of boost to your takeover bar, and that's why you want to equip the Flashy Passer. If you equip that, not only that, it's flashy passes are great rep up incentives. Flashy passes offer you a lot of rep out there, which is why you may want to equip the badge and add the amount of rep that you get. Also add to that additional boost to your takeover bar, which takes like 2 or 3 flashy passes and you're gonna have takeover. Super dope. Floor General, it's been one of my favorite badges throughout the year. I love the Floor General badge, as unlike Dimer, which only gives incentives to the person that's receiving the pass, Floor General gives incentives to your entire team, and you get to see the percentages of, if you have it on Hall of Fame, you can see the team's percentages, which is great. So you know where to throw that pass. It turns green. Your player's percentage will turn green when they're open, and it turns red as they're getting contested. So that's pretty dope. Or if the shot is not like a good look at the shot, the percentage will drop down, whether they're too far or they're getting contested. So that's what's dope about Floor General, and it gives you the attribute boost. So it's not just for shooters, it's also for like just offensive attribute boost for your entire team. Is an awesome like incentive to equip the Floor General badge. Handles for days. I'd also want to mention that a lot of people have wondered whether it gives you the incentive, the person that equips the Floor General badge. And I want to say that oftentimes when I've equipped the badge, I felt like I received some part of those incentives. I can't say that's actual fact. It may be a placebo effect. I don't know if you guys felt the same way, but as me equipping the badge, I often felt that I actually played better. I think it's part of 2K's mechanics. They don't necessarily, although the badge description says it goes for teammates, I can say that I personally felt better when equipping the badge as well. Neither here nor there. I'm just going to tell you guys my experience on my road to legend. And the things that I felt with these badges. Handles for days. Now, handles for days, I gotta tell you, is a must-have. I think everybody in the 2K community knows that if you don't equip this badge at the highest level, you're going to be limited in the opportunities you have for dribbling. It really shortens the amount of time that you have to trigger particular dribble animations, and that limits your ability to create more shot opportunities. So that's why I like the handles for days badge, and I always have this badge equipped at a higher level. Lob City Passer, after the most recent patch, I think Lob City Passer has become one of those badges that you kind of need to have out there. I'm learning like day in and day out that these weird lob animations and how 2K's it seems like 2K's trying to nerf lob animations. At least that's been my experience in most recent days. So I'm gonna have to consider equipping Lob City Passer as of right now, as it stands right now. Although prior to the last patch and within the last few weeks, I've never really needed the Lob City Passer badge. Now more than ever, it seems like that needs to be accompanied. When using this badge, your finisher needs to have Lob City Finisher as well. It seems like 2K is really messing with the sliders as far as lobs go. And lobs, everybody knows that lobs gives you the most rep up opportunities out there. So it's easy to understand why 2K and 2K's logic, they say, well, they enjoy doing that, take it away. Move those sliders down. We don't want them enjoying themselves. It's just weird logic. I don't even know why lobs will be touched in the first place, or why it would be adjusted when somebody's really enjoying getting their rep and creating rep up opportunities. Needle Threaders, the next badge on the list. I love the Needle Threader badge. You guys see I have it on Hall of Fame. It really increases the speed of your pass, which I really like about it. And you create more opportunities when you have an increased speed. You can really dot people who are cutting into the paint, or dot them in the corner between defenders, is what I really like about the Needle Threader badge. Pass Fake Maestro for bigger players, a paint piece, something like a finisher build, or even slashers out there. You get a little speed boost out of the pass fake. Other than that, I really don't like Pass Fake Maestro, but it does give a speed boost to particular players that could really incorporate a badge like Pass Fake Maestro into their game, something that you guys may want to consider. Post Spin Technician, a great badge for a post player. Somebody who's activating post spins will really get a change in their animation and the speed of the animation. Post spin really kicks in when you use it on the right player and you got your post moves up to par. Quick First Step, an absolute must-have if you're out there and you really want to see some like a good amount of speed boost off of your first step. Then you want the Quick First Step badge as high as it can go. There's no reason to put this badge down. Two badges that I say are absolute must-haves, like when you're starting your player out, is going to be Handles for Days and Quick First Step. If I was to mention two badges, those are going to be the two badges for playmaking that you gotta get up to par if you really want to utilize the full benefits of what those badges have to offer. Space Creator, the number one playmaking badge is Space Creator. Now, what I meant by Quick First Step and Handles for Days, these are the two like foundational badges that you need to get. But when you're ready to start breaking ankles, when you're ready to start creating plays, when you're ready to start, having an increased amount of maneuverability out there, Space Creator is going to give you what you want, and you're really going to create the space out there. Space Creator is the number one, in my opinion, the number one and most overpowered playmaking badge on NBA 2K20. If you guys got a difference of opinion, please let me know in the comment section below. Stop and Go. There's been a lot of controversy about Stop and Go from the beginning of the year up until now. I most recently had this badge at Hall of Fame to see what it can do. And with some of the things that I've noticed, AJC dropped a video on Stop and Go, and I noticed that there was a difference in the transition of your dribble moves, which is what I enjoyed. But some of the other differences at a high level with Stop and Go is that it seemed like you lost control of your player, as if 2K was activating or taking over your player for just a second, and that 1 second was causing too much havoc on my dribble move. So I dropped it down to bronze, and I think it's good at the bronze level. I've noticed if you go into the lab, and as you get better with your playmaking and like comboing your dribble moves, you start noticing these minor little things that could be improved, and that's where Stop and Go would kick in. The transitions between dribble moves and just like bursting out of those dribble moves is where Stop and Go really shines. Tight Handles is losing its effectiveness, I gotta say, but tight handles does stun your defender. And again, just like ankle breaker, you need the right animations for tight handles. It works good with escape animations and left and right escapes, something that you guys may want to consider with the tight handles badge. Crossovers, things like that will work good with tight handles. Unpluckable, another debatable badge. What level should you equip Unpluckable? And it's like, where should I put Unpluckable? Some people put it at Hall of Fame, some people have it at bronze, and they work out well. And I think it's really a matter of how you play out there. What I've come to notice is that more so than not, I would be like holding the turbo button, and that's when the ball is most likely to get plucked from. When you holding the turbo button and your stamina is depleting, it's easier for people to pluck that rock from out of you. So if you're equipping the right animations and you're really like utilizing your speed boost properly off of the right animations, instead of just trying to hold turbo and move faster than your opponent, use your shiftiness, use like your left to right or stop and go type of animations to really get away from the defender, as opposed to just holding turbo and running past them. Because Unpluckable does seem to work really good for me at Hall of Fame, and I'm not really like a dribble head like that, but Unpluckable has been a great addition to my playmaking arsenal. So this is what I got for you guys on playmaking badges for dummies. I hope you guys really found this video helpful and informative, and if you did, please consider subscribing to our channel, as we're not only going to have a ton of NBA 2K20 content, we're also going to have a ton of NBA 2K21 content coming to you guys on the next gen consoles. I'll catch you guys on the next video.